The God nerve. Reversal. Scientists named it. Ancient yogis decoded it 3,000 years ago. And two separate research teams, one at Johns Hopkins studying manifestation outcomes, one in Stockholm studying biological aging, arrived at the same discovery. Independent, unconnected, different continents, different decades. One nerve, one ancient sound. This was not coincidence. This was convergence. The Johns Hopkins team was mapping how certain practitioners seemed to age differently, not slower, differently, as if a biological clock had been interrupted rather than simply slowed. The Stockholm team was chasing nitric oxide, the molecule that governs endothelial repair, cellular oxygenation, and vascular aging. They found it surging in people who hummed. Hummed. Not meditated. Not breathed in any special pattern. Hummed. Both teams arrived at the same nerve. The vagus nerve. The God nerve. The longest cranial nerve in the human body, running from the brainstem through the throat, the heart, the gut. And neither team knew the other had found it first. In a Sanskrit text, over 3 millennia ago. The science they buried. In 2002, Swedish researcher Sten Lundberg published findings that rewired how we understand the breath. His team measured nitric oxide levels during Brahmari, the ancient humming pranayama practiced in yogic lineages for thousands of years. The result? A 15 to 20 times surge in nitric oxide production within the nasal cavity and vocal corridor. Not a marginal increase, not a statistically notable bump, 15 to 20 times baseline. Nitric oxide is the molecule your endothelium, the inner lining of every blood vessel in your body, uses to repair itself, to dilate, to oxygenate, to regenerate cellular structure from the inside out. At 15 times baseline, your body is running a cellular repair protocol it was designed for, but almost never accesses. Because the trigger is a sound most people abandoned before they understood what it was doing. Simultaneously, a separate laboratory, Dr. Stephen Porges was mapping the vagus nerve using what he called polyvagal theory. His conclusion: vagal tone is the single most reliable biomarker for biological aging speed. High vagal tone equals slower cellular aging, lower cortisol, higher HRV, reduced amyloid accumulation in the brain. The nerve is a governor on your biological clock. Now hear this clearly. Both mechanisms live in the same nerve. No one has connected them until now. Why Brahmari works. The reason Brahmari humming reverses aging is not the sound itself. It is what the sound does to the God nerve. Here is the chain. Follow it precisely. The humming vibration, generated at the throat, resonating through the brainstem, physically stimulates the vagus nerve along its entire cervical corridor. This is not metaphor. This is mechanical. The nerve responds to vibration the way a tuning fork responds to its frequency. It activates. That activation triggers two simultaneous cascades. First, the nitric oxide surge, 15 to 20 times baseline, flooding the endothelium, initiating vascular repair at the cellular level. Second, the polyvagal shift. The autonomic nervous system moves from sympathetic dominance, the chronic state of modern aging, into parasympathetic dominance, the state of cellular repair. HRV optimizes, cortisol clears, mitochondrial biogenesis accelerates. Ancient yogis called the output of sustained Brahmari practice Amrita, internal nectar, the substance of renewal. They described it as a fluid descending from the palate, what modern anatomy now identifies as stimulation of the nasopharyngeal nerve clusters during nasal resonance. Amrita was not mythology. It was their vocabulary for the nitric oxide cascade they had no chemical language to name. They were right. for 3,000 years. I made an entire video on how this exact nerve controls your ability to manifest reality. 578,000 people watched it. The link is above, but finish this first, because what comes next is what that video was missing. The God Nerve Sound Protocol. This is the protocol. 4 minutes, daily. The God Nerve Sound Protocol, a fusion of the two most potent mechanisms from the most watched content on this channel, combined into a single practice that neither video alone contained. Step 1. The seal. Shanmukhi Mudra. Close your sensory gates. Thumbs press lightly against the cartilage flap of each ear. Index fingers rest over closed eyelids. Middle fingers at the base of the nose. Ring and pinky fingers across the lips. You are not retreating from the world. You are creating the condition for the nerve to receive the signal. Sensory withdrawal is not weakness. It is precision. Step 2. The pitch. The Brahmari hum does not live in the throat. The throat is merely where it begins. Target the vibration downward, through the vagal corridor, from brainstem, through throat, through sternum, into heart. You will know the depth is correct when you feel the resonance behind the breastbone, not in the chest, behind it. That is the frequency reaching the nerve. This is the exact sound I decoded in one of my most watched videos. The ancient sound that reverses aging. 500,000 people discovered it there. What they didn't know is why it worked. This video is that answer. Step 3. The timing. Apply the 4-7-8 rhythm to each hum cycle. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts. Hold for 7. Hum the exhale for 8 counts. This is not a breathing exercise. This is nerve calibration. The hold pressurizes the diaphragm. The extended hum drives the vibration through the vagal corridor at depth. 4 rounds, approximately 4 minutes. Done daily at the same hour, the nerve begins to anticipate the signal. The calibration compounds. The 21-day biological shift. What follows is documented, not promised. Day 1. Nitric oxide levels surge within the session itself. Endothelial vasodilation initiates. Blood pressure drops measurably. Your vascular system has received a repair signal it may not have encountered in years, perhaps decades. Day 7. HRV begins measurable improvement. Cortisol clearance accelerates overnight. Sleep architecture deepens, specifically the slow wave phases where glymphatic clearing and cellular repair occur most intensively. The brain is cleaning itself more efficiently than it has in years. Day 21. Vagal tone recalibrates at a new baseline. Cellular aging markers shift. Practitioners consistently report a reduction in ambient anxiety that feels structural, not temporary, not situational. The baseline itself has moved. You do not need to believe this. The nerve does not require belief. It requires activation. You now know what took researchers across 3 separate institutions and 3,000 years of yogic lineage to converge on. The God nerve is not mythology. It is biology, and you carry it. Most people walking past you today have never activated it once. They are aging at the rate their unexamined nervous system allows. You now know the mechanism, the protocol, the chain. Comment: God nerve activated. Return in 21 days. Tell me not what you gained, tell me what you no longer feel. And if you already watched the God nerve video or the ancient sound video, comment which one brought you here. The answer will tell me something about you. If you want to go deeper, one video explains the God nerve's full power over your reality. The other teaches the ancient sound as a standalone practice. Both are linked in the description. Watch them in any order. The third time you watch all 3, something shifts. Enter the Codex.